Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Oh, well, that didn't last so long now, did it? You know, it's like I keep saying, these corrupt leftoids are so stuck in their old ways. They've clearly proven a total inability to adapt that I think it's going to end up being their demise. They're so clearly focused on diminishing anything President Trump does. The idea is that no matter what happens, just present whatever's happening as a failure for this administration, a failure for Donald Trump and his approach. The Trumpian approach doesn't work. Nobody likes Donald Trump. He's unpopular. Nobody wants to work with him. But you know, maybe that might have worked a little bit in 2016. But fast forward to 2025, no, that's not happening. It's clearly not happening, as nearly everybody is falling in line. But these Democrat hacks in the media, again, seemingly can't adapt, and it's got them looking like absolute utter fools. Once again, the fake news journos attempting to build these negative narratives, well, they've got egg on their face. They're looking like utter fools and partisan hacks. And these stories surrounding these deportation flights and supposed foreign leaders rejecting them, I think are the best examples to make this point. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so a couple days ago, right as the news was breaking that Donald Trump was putting illegal migrants on military flights and sending them back home, a story popped up suggesting that the Mexican president was refusing to take the flights, supposedly rejecting 4 flights of deported illegal migrants coming back. And of course, the gullible Blue Anon people bought the story hook, line, and sinker without critical thought. You know, critical thought not exactly their forte, but you saw it all over social media, right? Donald Trump takes massive L. Courageous Mexican president shows him up on the world stage. But then it turned out, like an hour later, that story was fake news, and that actually, they were taking the flights and accepting the illegal migrants back with very little pushback. So that was the first embarrassment, but then the story develops and it gets even worse for the leftoids. Here's where it gets absolutely hilarious, because the Colombian president must have seen the Mexico story and thought, hold my cerveza, let me show you exactly how it's done. And unlike the Mexican president, he actually decided to refuse 2 repatriation flights. The president of Colombia said, the US cannot treat Colombian migrants as criminals. You mean criminal illegal migrants? I deny the entry of American planes carrying Colombian migrants into our territory.
NBC News has also learned this morning that the country of Colombia has recently turned away 2 deportation flights from the United States. Each of those flights held about 80 people, all Colombian migrants, according to a defense official. The aircraft, which were American military C-17s, were initially cleared to land in Colombia, but the president, Gustavo Petro, revoked diplomatic clearances for all U.S. flights, meaning no military or ICE flights will now be allowed to land. On Thursday, Mexico also denied access to American aircraft to land with migrants. On Friday, Guatemala allowed 3 American aircraft carrying migrants to land.
And of course, all the Blue Anon shills immediately jumped on #resistance. Donald Trump's getting showed up on the world stage, which I didn't really have an issue with, because I knew one thing. I knew all those takes. I knew the celebration wouldn't last too long. It wouldn't age so well, because of course, Donald Trump ain't no Joe Biden. He ain't no schmuck. And instantly, Donald Trump takes to Truth Social. I was just informed that 2 repatriation flights from the United States with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. This order was given by Colombia's socialist president Gustavo Petro, who is already very unpopular amongst his people. Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States, so I have directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures. An emergency 25% tariff on all goods coming into the United States from Colombia, and in 1 week the 25% tariff will be raised to 50%, a travel ban and immediate visa revocations on the Colombian government officials and all allies and supporters, visa sanctions on all party members, family members, and supporters of the Colombian government, enhanced customs and border protection inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo on national security grounds, as well as IEEPA treasury, banking, and financial sanctions to be fully imposed. And he then finishes with, these measures are just the beginning. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligations with regard to the acceptance and return of criminals that they forced into the United States. Donald Trump is not playing these bullshit games. And he responded with, okay, you're not going to play ball? No problem. 25% tariff. Oh, and next week, the tariff wall doubles in size, up to 50%. The next week, let's go 75, not to mention everything else. And of course, the leftoids jumped in immediately to try to put a negative spin. Genius political commentator Harry Sisson chimed in and says, Trump just announced huge penalties on Colombia. Everything just got more expensive for you and your family. I can't even not laugh while reading this. It's the dumbest thing I've read all day. There are diplomatic ways to work with countries, but instead, Trump does crap like this. Yeah, Trump's the one doing crap. Meanwhile, the Colombians, actively working to sabotage American interest in national security, yeah, that's not crap at all, of course. Holy frickin' moly, Trump derangement syndrome ought to be studied by the greatest minds amongst us. But anyways, I wasn't too bothered by the idiotic spin coming from the left because I knew once again that it wouldn't age very well. And that's exactly what happened. I kid you not, less than an hour later, I mean, it might have been 15 minutes after Donald Trump made the post, womp womp womp, the president of Colombia releases an official response. It's in Spanish, but I'll give you the gist of it. He totally caved on all of it, is now accepting flights, and even the cherry on top, to add insult to injury, he offered up his presidential plane to be used in the repatriation process. Colombia offers presidential plane to help repatriate deportees from the United States. Oh my lord. I haven't had this much fun recording a video in a long frickin' time. And actually, building on what I said earlier, the whole add insult to injury, Donald Trump does exactly that, adding insult to injury, by releasing this tweet publicly on social media after the Colombian government totally caved to his demands. Trump looking like an absolute badass with a little poster behind him that says, FAFO, F around and find out. I'm just on cloud 9 right now. You know, after 4 years of total inaction, weak, feckless leadership allowing the rest of the world to simply walk all over America, America's finally back. No more of these BS games, no more of the lawlessness. There's a president in charge who's finally taking action. And of course, taking action to the benefit of the American people. Enough pretending like America owes the rest of the world something. America is the standard. And most importantly, America the beautiful has all the leverage. And Trump is telling world leaders very, very clearly, don't mess with us. In fact, actually, I think what he's saying is not just don't mess with us, but he's saying you can't mess with us. We set the standard. We're the biggest economy in the world. We do things right and we're not going to play your games. And if you don't want to do things right, if you don't want to do things the American way, the right way, the righteous way, well, then you're very quickly going to find out. Like I keep saying, Donald Trump has everybody at attention. They know not to mess with the American bulldog. Now I'm just wondering when the fake news media is going to realize that. And I mean, really, what a bunch of buffoons. We have all these leftists and these journalists actively rooting against the interest of the nation, just so they could try to get a dunk or a one-up or create some sort of negative narrative around the president. Pathetic behavior, and I don't even know why they're engaging in this behavior because obviously, it no longer frickin' works. Everybody knows that Trump is serious. Everybody knows he's the world leader. He's the leader of the strongest nation on earth, the superpower, and he's not going to sit idly by like Joe Biden did, like Barack Obama did. No, he's going to do the right thing. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.